Hi, and welcome back to Tech Your Game. Today, we're going to talk about Google Classroom and what you can do with it as a coach to take your training offline or online, offline of the field, and save more time on the field because players already know what you're looking for. Today on Tech Your Game. Okay, welcome back to Tech Your Game. Today we're going to talk about Google Classroom. This is something that hasn't been open to regular civilians, if you will. In other words, outside the school system until this past year. And Google has now opened up Classroom for any private Google account. So as long as your players are all have a Google account, which again, they can get for free, it doesn't invade their privacy. It just gives them another email to have to check, or they could not check it. But it gives you the ability to train outside of the field. And as a coach, I got to tell you, a big deal for me is that the players at least have an idea of what I'm talking about before we get on the field. And you don't have a lot of face time with your players if you're like any other coach. All right, you have to work all day at a normal job, and you come to the field and you try to get a point across when they could already have a clue about what you're looking for by using Google Classroom. So let's get right into it. I haven't created a Google Classroom on my Tech Your Game account, so we're just going to walk through it, getting started. And like everything else Google, we're going to type in classroom.google.com. And this screen is going to come up, and it's going to ask you, do you want to create or join your first class? It's right here. A little arrow, not real blatant. I'm going to click on create a class. Okay, and it's going to come up with a little disclaimer. If you want to, if so, your school must sign up for G Suite for Education account before you can use Classroom. G Suite Education, it's going to tell you some stuff there. At any rate, I read and understand. I'm going to use it. Create a class. Okay, we're going to call this the Tech Your Game team. All right, and you can assign a section, a subject. You don't have to put anything in there. You can leave those blank and just click on create. And it's going to go out and it's going to create a classroom. Now, here's what a basic classroom looks like. It's going to walk you through, communicate with your class, and that's what I'm here for. I'm going to walk you through how to use this interface, how to best use Google Classroom to get in touch with your kids and get them trained. Okay, so let's just walk through it. On the top left, it's just a little panel that says classes, calendar, work, Tech Your Game. It's going to create a calendar in every student and on your Google account that's just for this classroom. Okay, it'll do that automatically. So any events that I add in here are going to go to that calendar. And you can use it as an active calendar for your team or not. Okay, first we have across the top here, stream, students, and about. Okay, and then it's going to, again, take you through some stuff that I'm going to take you through. The stream is here for you to send out information just as you would on a Facebook account, Twitter account, but it's private to you and your team, you and your class. Okay, so let's talk about that first. Let's get people into our class. So we click on the Students tab, and you can invite students by just typing in their emails, which you probably have an email list of. Or better yet, and I like this even better, just send them the class code. Come to the class code, click on copy, and what you can do is send out an email on your regular account to everybody on your team. They can go to classroom.google.com and join, as we did at the very beginning here. Instead of create a class, they're just going to join a class, and they're going to use that code, 98RJ53, to join your class. Now, if you have a reason to need to reset it, just come in here and reset it, and it'll give you a new code. Okay, same classroom, new code, if you're getting players from a different organization or people from a different organization for some odd reason getting rerouted to your classroom and you want to ignore all that, just reset the code. Your players will still be able to get in. And right below that, it says students can post and comment. You could put it down, students can only comment. You can put it down, only teachers can post or comment. That's up to you. I'd encourage you to let them interact with this thing. The more interaction you give them, the better off you're going to be. Okay, so that's how students will get onto your Google Classroom. All right, let's go back to Stream for a second. In the Stream, this is where we start doing the training. This is where we start giving them information. Okay, and over here on the left side, it's going to tell them if they have any work. So if you assign them something, and I'll show you how to do that. There's topics, and you can add a topic in here. You might put in there, all attackers, if you're attacker information, if you have a lacrosse team. Or we could just label it attackers. That's where anything pertaining to attackers would go. Add another topic, defenders. Add as many as you want. Your organization is up to you. If you don't like one of these, you can just hover over it. I don't like attacker. I want to rename it to attacker. Depending on how petty you are with your names. Okay, you don't want defenders on there, just delete it. All right, delete that as a topic. Now, the reason we use topics is it can allow your players to focus a little bit better. So when you go in here, and we're going to go down here to the right side of the page, right here to this plus arrow, and it's going to show you the real power behind Google Classroom. The thing I really want for you to kind of get is in here, you can create an announcement, create an assignment. This is where when you do a Google form that you've made an assignment for them to complete, you can insert that here. You can create a question, just throw a question out there that they have to answer to in the stream. Or you can reuse a post. If you create a new classroom every year for each team, which I would encourage you to do, you can archive the old team, and you can reach back into that archive and pull out a post you used a year ago, 2 years ago, and reuse it. Because let's face it, a lot of what we do, we have to repeat over and over again. So I'm just going to create an announcement, okay? And it's going to say all students, or you can pick individual students. We're going to go ahead, if I uncheck that, it would come up with a list of all the different students that I have in my class. And I could send individual messages, announcements to each individual student, or not. Share with your class. Welcome to the Tech Your Game classroom, or whatever. Now, topic, you may be no topic. You can leave it uncategorized. You don't have to have a topic. If you just want that to go out to attackers, or if you want that just to go to the topic attackers so that it gets sorted by attackers, then you can put that in there. I'm going to leave this one as no topic. Now, down here along the bottom, if I want to attach a file, I can upload from my computer. I can go to my drive and dig a file out of there. Any one of these files. I can put one of these training events that I did, passing and shooting training. I could add that in here. Okay, I could go to YouTube and I can type on YouTube and just do a search in YouTube for videos related to what I am trying to get out to my players. And I can just search right here inside of YouTube, and I see that, okay, we've got lacrosse shooting errors. I'm going to add that in, and they can watch that. And I can put a mode up here. Please complete the form and view the video. Okay, and at this point, I'm now starting to communicate with my players. I'm starting to give them information that otherwise they might not ever get. I'll forget when it comes time to get into the field. You know how we are. We get in the middle and we're yelling, they're pointing here, you're doing that. And all of a sudden, you forgot that this stuff is the important agenda of the day. So I go ahead and I just post it. And in the student stream, they're going to see this is the latest post from Tech Your Game, Paul Limpert. And they can go ahead and access it. They can do the quiz. You can look at the quiz feedback and see what they got, what they didn't get. You can, you can't do much with the video in terms of seeing whether they viewed it or not through Classroom, but you can use other applications like Edpuzzle, which we'll talk about later, to get that done. So you can create just an announcement. You can come down here. You can create an assignment. Okay, and this is shooting skills form. Please complete the form. You can put a due date on it. All right, just pick a due date. You can put a time in there. If the time is it always defaults to the end of the day, 11:59. You can say this is just for attackers, all right, or whatever topic that you want to tag it to. Under the assign, you can schedule this to go out at a later time. You can save it as a draft if you're still working on it, okay? Or you could just assign it right away. And boom, it's out there. It's now out there for everybody inside the classroom. Due by August 4th, by midnight on August 4th, they need to complete the shooting skills form. Now, of course, it would have been nice if Coach Limpert would have included the form. So if you do that, you can go back and you forgot to add the form and it's out there. You can go back, click on your little hot dog or hamburger or whatever you call your stack over here, edit it, go back in, go to your drive, if that's where you have it stored. Okay, find that form that you want your players to fill out, add it, and then save it. Okay, and I guarantee you, if they're watching this stream, they're going to let you know you forgot the form, and it's as simple as that. They just refresh the stream, and they're back in. Now, you can copy this link and send it directly to them if you want them to have it right away. But when they create their Google Classroom account, they get to set up notifications. So anytime you post something new, I would tell them have it send you a notification so that you know there's new material on the stream and they can get to it right away. Okay, so this is video one. This is simple creation of a classroom and simple posting of a message and an assignment. And it's something that you can do outside of all the other stuff because you're already doing it in your planning. While you're sitting there doing your practice plan, you can just add this stuff to the classroom. You can kick it out ahead of time. You can front load your players so that when they get to practice, what they have are questions to get clarification. Instead of trying to comprehend what you're asking them to do it, and then getting confused. All right. I think it's a great tool. It's a closed classroom. Only your kids are allowed in. You're the administrator of it. They get all the training they want. You can enable parents to come in and look at what the kids are being trained on. I would encourage that. They really like that. Over here on the About tab, I didn't mention that, but in the About tab are things that you can open the calendar and take a look at the calendar and put events on the calendar. You can load class materials in here. If you have things that you need to upload from your hard drive from years ago, select files from your computer and go back and look at a player parent meeting that you had or lacrosse basics that you want to send out there. It doesn't have to be a Google Drive file. You just upload it and it's there for them to access whenever they need to. These are just common use things. Maybe your playbook, maybe some rules and guidelines for the year, any of that. Just put it in your About tab. Keep your stream as organized as possible by using topics and just stay on top of getting things out there. And again, I would encourage you to do this during your practice planning, during your annual strategy sessions with your coaches. Put this stuff out there. Let the kids respond to it. Leave it a two-way conversation as much as you can. Give them some guidelines and watch what happens. they're going to get a clue about what you're looking for, and they're going to start doing those things, and your team is going to be together on the same page, the same class page. I hope this helps. I'm going to have another video to show you how to do a little more advanced Google Classroom stuff coming up. We're going to do probably 3 or 4 Google Classroom videos, and I hope they're all very helpful. You have a great day.